Welcome to SVGTV's news for Friday, October 10th, 2025. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Before we get to the details, viewers of SVG-TV are asked to be advised of a program change for tomorrow, Saturday, October 11th. At 6 p.m. will be Flashback, 6:30 Living Water. Then at 7 it will be Escape for Thy Life. At 7:30 Voice of Freedom will air, and at 8 p.m. ULP Rally Live. And now for the details. General elections in St. Vincent and the Grenadines expected before the end of 2025, Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Salves has raised concerns about the potential fallout if the opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, wins and follows through on its pledge to sever diplomatic ties with Taiwan. Speaking at a ceremony marking the 114th anniversary of Taiwan's National Day on Tuesday, Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Salves disclosed that SVG currently owes approximately EC $800 million in loan to Taiwan. He warned that if diplomatic relations are broken, Taiwan may demand immediate payments of the outstanding debts.
That this clause is like a hook in their gill, in the opposition gill. Because if you were to make the mistake, all the monies which we owe Taiwan will become due right away. Those monies at the moment are something over $500 million. And there are other monies which we have in the pipeline, which we have signed agreements on, but we have not drawn them. And those numbers would reach another 300 million. So anytime we draw down those, it's about 800 million in all. And I said, that's a hook in your gill. Because obviously, if the banks in Taiwan having loans with us, a material issue which would cause for the monies to be paid one time is if you break relations with them.
Prime Minister Gonsalves further cautioned that while the People's Republic of China might offer to repay Taiwan on SVG's behalf to facilitate a diplomatic switch, the debt would still ultimately fall on the shoulders of the Vincentian people. He added that it remains uncertain whether SVG would be in a position to access new loans from under China such circumstances.
With them, they say, well, I want all my money. Where are you going to get that money from? Oh, we'll get the money from mainland China. Okay. Let's assume they pay the $500, $600, $700, $800 million. And it's not a gift, you know. It would be a loan. And after you get that loan, there's nothing else for you to get. So go ahead. Be like the dog on the bridge with the bone in your mouth, and you see the reflection, you drop the bone and you dive off and go and look for the shadow. We are having this 114th anniversary, but it is my duty to tell you about the risks which are involved if you make the break, in clear and practical terms. I'm not coming here tonight to talk niceties. I'm here tonight to speak to the nation in relation to the risks involved for this country if you break relations with Taiwan and establish relations with mainland China. The election, therefore, in part, must be a referendum on this question.
Dr. Gonsalves also made serious allegations claiming that Chinese companies and operatives are already active in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well as in neighboring countries, attempting to influence the outcome of the upcoming general elections. Taiwan and St. Vincent and the Grenadines established formal diplomatic relations in 1981. Over the decades, Taiwan has supported SVG in a range of development projects, including healthcare, education, agriculture, and infrastructure. The relationship has been a long-standing feature of SVG's foreign policy under the Unity Labour Party ULP led by Dr. Gonzalez. Today, October 10th, marks Taiwan's National Day, also known as the Double 10 Day, a significant public holiday celebrating the founding of the Republic of China, Taiwan, in 1911. Member of Parliament for Central Leeward and Minister of Housing, Informal Human Settlements, Youth and Sports, Orlando Brewster, has declared that the opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, is not ready to govern St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking during an appearance on Star Radio this week, Brewster emphasized that unlike the NDP, the ruling Unity Labour Party, ULP, has a proven track record of delivery, highlighting the government's significant achievements over its 25 years in office.
You guys really take a good look at the New Democratic Party, you would see that they are not fit for governance. You would see that they are not fit to be placed at the helm of this country. They are not serious people. Listen, you could tell me, for the love of me, you said one of your plan in 60 days is to increase public assistance. You don't even know what is the amount paid for public assistance. Exactly. I can tell you the amount paid by public assistance because I remembered when we transitioned public assistance from the standing up in the line for cash to the card program. I remember it was at $275 for some of the persons who are under the age of 65. So we took it to $280, and we know those above 65, they would usually get the $300. If you don't know these basic things as a party that you want to govern this country, that's to tell you, these guys don't read, and like the Prime Minister said, they're lazy. They're a bunch of lazy guys. They're weak. They can't make a decision, and half of them is fake.
Brewster also questioned the feasibility of the NDP's campaign promise to complete several major projects within the first 60 days of office, calling such pledges unrealistic. He went on to highlight what he sees as a contradiction in the NDP's approach to financing.
They said they're going to increase public assistance. They're going to, the amount of things that they want to do in 60 days. I don't know how they're going. Well, I understand that the PRO called in sometime this morning and talk about how they're going to get the money. They say it's estimated to be $120 million for all them things they want to do in 60 days. How they going to get the money? They say they're going to borrow. They say they're going to borrow. They're going to borrow from CDB. They're going to borrow from World Bank. But yet, these are the same people who would say to us, oh, this government is a borrowing government. All they do is borrow. But they cannot, for the life of me, explain to us how they can do all of that in 60 days without borrowing. They say they're going to borrow. And they said the World Bank does work with not only the ULP government, but they work with the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But I can tell you this, these guys don't have a clue as to some of the processes as it relates to getting a World Bank loan, a CDB loan. They don't know some of the needs, some of the requirements. And that is why they talk so loosely about all these things. And they think that Vincentians are not smart enough to look at their basket plans that cannot hold water. They're empty and cannot see through them.
Brewster reaffirmed his party's record in government, citing stability, accountability, and tangible developments as hallmarks of the ULP leadership. The opposition New Democratic Party NDP candidate for Mariaqua, Philip Jackson, has outlined a series of initiatives aimed at advancing the overall development of his constituency. Speaking at a village meeting in Evesham on a Thursday night, Jackson said a number of transformative projects are in the pipeline to generate growth and opportunity for residents. Jackson explained that one of his key strategies involves integrating human resources with technology to modernize business operations. He said the initiative will focus on transferring expertise from the public sector into private sector to improve efficiency and drive innovation.
Those of you who have business ideas, This is what the NDP will do for you. We will set up innovation hubs. These innovation hubs would have specialists who would help you to transform your ideas into a workable business solution. Yeah, you can go there, but we're going further still. There are a lot of persons in the public who are well trained and has all the competence to help you in your business. This is the plan of the NDP. Many of these persons, instead of staying in the government offices, we are going to deploy them to your businesses to work with you for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, for as long as it takes to help you transform your ideas and make your business work better.
Jackson also announced plans to develop sports as a professional career pathway, stating that his goal is to support local athletes in achieving world-class standards while opening up new opportunities within the sports industry.
An NDP government will make sure that we refurbish all of our playing fields and light them so you can use them day and night, because we have a plan to make sports as a career for business, where athletes can have aspirations to become world-class athletes. And you can use it whenever you want. You come home late on evenings, you can still use our playing field because they will be lighted. That is our plan. And we have the kind of persons in Fitz Bramlow and Kishore Shallow and Kashaka Cupid who have represented this country regionally and internationally in sports to make sure that sports is a transformative sector for you young people.
In addition, Jackson highlighted the urgent need to invest in the nation's youth. While acknowledging ongoing efforts through the education revolution, he pointed out that less than 30% of students are currently meeting the required academic standards. To address this, he proposed the introduction of homework clubs and after-school programs aimed at providing academic support and ensuring that every child has a fair chance to succeed.
Wow. Under the leadership of Philip Jackson, we have to and will look out for all of our students. So I'm challenging all of you teachers. We want to build a proper relationship between the home, the school, and the community. So here is the plan. We will establish homework clubs. Homework clubs, because we need to stand by each other. We need to be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. We have to help our neighbors' children achieve. So we would establish homework clubs. And I want you young people in college and so on who can help, sign up when the time comes. Sign up to be a helper. Spend 2 hours and an afternoon, twice a week to help the children in your neighborhood.
Jackson closed his presentation by reaffirming his commitment to building a stronger, more progressive Mariaqua underpinned by education, technology, and youth empowerment. Meanwhile, the NDP Central Leeward candidate Conroy Huggins has accused the government of disrespecting the people during a village meeting at Morgan Square, Barley on Thursday night. Huggins recounted that after he publicly advocated for repairs to the road in the Bottle and Glass community, a government team was sent to carry out work approximately 10 days later. However, he criticized the intervention as poorly executed, saying it failed to bring any meaningful improvement to the road's condition.
Made the comment that after 25 years, look at Bottle and Glass Road, the whole surface gone, the whole ting-tong dirt. You want me to say something to the fix that too? Oh gosh, I go kill them. What? 10 days after, exactly 10 days after, they send Baxter to rip up Bottle and Glass Road. But hear the stupidity about it. And the young men yesterday, they were telling us that. They think we're foolish. What they did with the road, you know, is like a plaster seed. It's like plaster porridge. Now, nothing significant. So the people are saying they think our outage. But I'm not doing it, I'm big on our sense.
Huggins further highlighted that the project was carried out without proper planning, particularly pointing to the absence of functional drainage systems. He warned that the lack of proper infrastructure would only lead to further deterioration and increase the risk of flooding, putting residents and their properties at risk.
So I went and spoke to an engineer, a good friend of mine, and the brother said to me, against 101 in road construction, what they did is total foolishness. He said to me, the first thing, when you rip up a road, that material has to be removed. You cannot put it back on. It has to be discarded. And then you have to lay a base with bigger stones. Right, not fine ones, bigger ones. And then you have to press that. And then you have foundation. And you have to put another layer of fresh material. And then you put on your asphalt and you press and so forth. That's a common sense, right? The other thing about it, they went hurry and do road without drain. So when you go on the cemetery for the Anglican Church, there is no drain at all. So the people of Bangladesh said to me, mix, then think I'm dotish, but I'm not stupid.
Huggins stressed that such actions demonstrate a lack of genuine concern for the needs of the ordinary citizens and called for better planning, transparency, and respect from those in authority. In other news, a moderate 4.1 magnitude earthquake occurred in the Caribbean Sea near Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines around noon today, Friday, October 10th. According to the seismic data, the earthquake's epicenter was located at latitude 13.02 degrees north and longitude 59.79 degrees west, with a depth of 10 kilometers. The quake was felt in several nearby areas. Bridgetown, Barbados, approximately 22 kilometers southwest of the epicenter. Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, roughly 160 kilometers east, and Castries, St. Lucia, about 173 kilometers southeast. There were no reports of damage or injuries in any of the affected cities. On Tropical Storm Jerry, tropical storm continues to stir the Atlantic as it tracks northwest of the Leeward Islands, sending dangerous swells and rip currents towards the Caribbean and the U.S. East Coast. Jerry is expected to turn north later tonight, then curve northeast by Sunday, maintaining its current intensity through the weekend. Although the system is not projected to make landfall, its broad wind field and swell pattern will affect the wide area. Swells generated by Jerry are already impacting the Leeward and Windward Islands, the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and will extend towards the Bahamas and Hispaniola today before reaching Florida's east coast by Saturday. Still on the local scene, in observance of World Food Day and the 80th anniversary of the Food and Agricultural Organization FAO, the Zero Hunger Trust Fund is partnering with several schools across St. Vincent and the Grenadines to roll out tree planting exercises. Chief Executive Officer of the Zero Hunger Trust Fund, Sophia Hornbeek, speaking at the launch of World Food Day activities on Tuesday, emphasized the organization's ongoing mission to ensure no one goes hungry. She explained that the tree planting initiative in schools, which began this week, is part of a broader push toward food stability, toward food sustainability and nutrition and education.
That schools are part of the conversation, that schools are included in the activities. We started yesterday when we went out to Thomas Saunders Secondary School, who has just recently started their agriculture science program. We distributed tools to make sure that they can start the program and encourage youth to be part of producing food in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. For the next week, you will be seeing us go to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're not stopping there. We started with the St. Vincent Grammar School to get the urban schools to think agriculture, that it's not only a rural initiative and that all of us can plant and be part of the process. So we will be going to the St. Martin Secondary School, the minister's alma mater, on Monday. With our support, they're starting their agriculture science program.
The CEO also noted that the initiative is not limited to urban areas. Schools in rural communities are also being actively engaged. As part of this expanded outreach, 2 additional schools have now been included in the Zero Hunger Trust Fund's school feeding program.
We are also making sure that we continue to feed our young minds. And with the program this year, we'll be onboarding 2 schools to our school feeding program. We'll be going to Westward Methodist on the leeward end and Lomans Anglican on the windward end. These 2 schools are rural schools, but yet they're challenged to find the produce and feed the children in their school feeding program. This program that we are running allows the students to eat free, of course, and we make sure that it's a balanced meal, including local produce. These are some of the activities that we'll be executing this year. We will also be encouraging our students from secondary school and primary school to be part of the expo and showcase their ingenuity and their work that they have been doing over the years.
World Food Day will be officially observed on October 16th alongside the Agri-Expo under the global theme Hand in Hand for Better Food and a Better Future. This year's observance highlights the importance of cooperation and sustainability in addressing hunger, malnutrition, and the challenges of climate change. Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been awarded the title of St. Vincent and the Grenadines' leading all-inclusive resort for 2025 at the 32nd annual World Travel Awards Caribbean and Americas Gala. The award ceremony took place on October 9th at the Sandals Grand in St. Lucia, bringing together government officials and hospitality professionals from across the region to celebrate excellence in tourism. In total, Sandals Resorts and Beaches Resorts earned 16 prestigious titles, with Sandals St. Vincent securing one of the night's most significant accolades for the island. Recognition of excellence and commitment, Adam Stewart, executive chairman of Sandals Resorts, expressed pride in the recognition, stating that the award reflects the brand's unwavering dedication to guest satisfaction. Founded in 1993, the World Travel Awards, WTA, were established to acknowledge, reward, and celebrate excellence across all sectors of the tourism industry. Today, the WTA brand is globally recognized as the ultimate hallmark of quality, with winners setting industry standards that others aspire to meet each year. The WTA hosts a series of regional gala ceremonies around the world to honor both individual and collective achievements within key geographical regions. These high-profile events are widely regarded as premier networking opportunities, attracting government leaders, industry stakeholders, celebrities, and international media. Sandals St. Vincent's recognition highlights the resort's growing reputation for luxury, service excellence, and its contribution to St. Vincent and the Grenadines' tourism sector. In other news, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, the SVGTV, has advanced its investigation into the death of Denroy Black, a 31-year-old laborer of Glen, which occurred in Glen on Tuesday, October 7th. As a result of inquiries, police arrested and charged Brittany Ardain, a 24-year-old waitress of Barley, with the offense of manslaughter. The SVGTV says the charge stems from an altercation during which Black sustained a stab wound to the neck. He later succumbed to his injury while being transported for medical attention. Ardain appeared before the Serious Offences Court on October 9th, where she was granted bail in the sum of 30,000 EC dollars with one surety. As part of her bail condition, she is required to report to the Barley Police Station every Wednesday between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., surrender all travel documents, and refrain from leaving the state. The matter was adjourned to November 10, 2025. The SVGTV says it continues with its investigation into the circumstances surrounding the matter and encourages anyone with relevant information to contact Police Control at 457-1211, the Calico Police Station at 458-4200, or the Police Relations Office at 485-6891. Welcome back to the evening news. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the SVG Medical Association has planned a series of activities to highlight the importance of early detection and support for those affected. The main event will be the highly anticipated Pink City Walk, scheduled for tomorrow, Friday, October 10th. Breast Cancer Awareness Month coincides with St. Vincent and the Grenadines' 46th independence celebrations, marking this as a particularly meaningful time for national unity and health advocacy. Dr. Raylina Burke, a representative of the SVG Medical Association, says the Pink City Walk will begin at 3:30 p.m. at Heritage Square, winding through the streets of Kingston. She explains that the walk is intended to raise awareness of the growing concern around breast cancer in the country and to encourage more women to get screened regularly. The RSVGPF extends condolences to the family and friends of Black during this difficult time.